The shuttle's atmospheric thrusters flared as it pierced the burnt ochre skies of Anti-Rack, buffeting Gina's slight frame against her crash harness. She surveyed the barren, desiccated expanse laid out beneath the angled viewport, the ruddy desert stretching to a horizon marred by towering plumes of acrid smoke. Her gut tightened as the mission parameters flickered across her retinal display. The stakes could scarcely be higher. The genocidal Vrathu had acquired a mutagenic pathogen, capable of exterminating all carbon-based lifeforms across the galaxy. Their plans for deployment remained unknown, but the intelligence pointed to this forsaken world as the staging ground for an extinction-level event. Gina was the Alliance's sole hope of interdiction, her genetic enhancements and battle-hardened skills making her one of the deadliest operatives in the cosmos. Still, the odds seemed insurmountable against the legions of Vrathu awaiting her on the surface. She steadied her breathing as the shuttle's landing cycle initiated with a bone-jarring thud. The acrid winds lashed her tanned features as she crept through the twisted wreckage of a downed Vrathu lander. Her combat mask filtered out the stinging particulates, while her enhanced senses probed outward, hunting for the faintest trace of her prey. There, the unmistakable biosignatures of a Vrathu patrol scouring the debris field for survivors to slaughter. With a feral snarl, Gina erupted from cover, her newly redesigned plasma rifle barking staccato rounds that crisped the first two aliens before they could react. The remaining Vrathu responded in kind, their flesh sizzling as coherent light seared through the crimson murk. Gina fought with the ferocity of a mother bear, her last few shots spilling arterial ichor across the baking sands. She pressed onwards, dispatching sentries with brutal efficiency as she infiltrated the Vrathu's subterranean complex. At its core, Gina found her objective, a reinforced storage vault bristling with biohazard safeguards. Her Omni-tool made short work of the security protocols, the armored doors hissing open to reveal row upon row of ominous canisters. Her orders left no room for interpretation. With a grim nod, she primed the incendiary charges and sprinted for the exit, only to find a hulking Vrathu monstrosity barring her path, its shimmering blades weeping viscous toxins. The creature bellowed a hateful battle cry as it charged, blades streaking towards Gina's throat. She dived aside at the last instant, agony lancing through one leg as a lucky strike found its mark. With a snarl of defiance, Gina opened fire into the brute's exposed vitals, even as her vision swam and her grasp on consciousness waned. Gina blinked away the darkness creeping across her vision, channeling every ounce of her formidable will. The screaming ache in her shredded leg mustered only grim determination as she took aim at the staggering Vrathu juggernaut. Her plasma rifle barked in a sustained salvo, surging bolts of coherent light blazing through the creature's armored carapace. Viscous ichor sprayed in pulsing arcs as Gina slowly backpedaled, her wounded limb leaving a sticky trail in the crimson sand. The Vrathu roared in anguished fury, its footfalls shaking the ground as it charged once more. With a primal shout, Gina hurled the last of her grenades straight into the monster's gnashing maw. The resulting detonation vaporized the alien's skull in a blinding flash, searing shrapnel ripping through its torso as it toppled backward with a thunderous crash. Chest heaving, Gina spared a glance at the detonator clutched in her fist. The charges she'd planted in the bioweapons vault were still primed and awaiting her signal. She mustered the last vestiges of her strength and triggered the sequence, the earth itself seeming to shudder as the complex's heart was immolated in a cataclysmic fireball. By the time the smoke cleared, Gina found herself slumped amid the smoldering rubble, clutching her savaged leg as her lifeblood seeped between trembling fingers. Bone-deep exhaustion clawed at her mind, the shrill whine of the extraction klaxon seeming to emanate from a distant haze. This was it. The Vrathu agenda to scourge all life from the cosmos had been thwarted, but at the cost of her own mortality. As the darkness closed in, Jaina's lips parted in a grim smile, secure in the knowledge that she had dealt the genocidal aliens a grievous blow. Her sacrifice would echo across the ages as a stirring testament to humanity's enduring ferocity and heroic spirit. The thunderous downblast of a Terran dropship dispelled the encroaching shadows just long enough for Gina to discern the silhouettes of her rescuers emerging from the crimson miasma. Battered and bloodied yet unbroken, She had survived the Crimson Gauntlet through sheer tenacity. For the first time in years, Gina allowed the ghost of hope to flicker in her heart. Perhaps her people might yet endure in this unforgiving universe after all. The fight would go on,